My man, there you are.
My guy.
How's it going?
Good, man. Really good. Beautiful day out here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so can't complain. How about you?
That's really cool. Yeah, very beautiful day and very hot day here in the south of France. I didn't even catch last time that you were from Nova Scotia. That's cool. I
Yeah,
have
born here.
a lot of
Born here.
affection
Here,
for
sir.
Canada.
Have you been to Canada?
Yeah, I lived in Toronto for a year.
Oh, nice. Nice. I lived in
Yeah.
Toronto for a couple years as well. Love Toronto.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I miss it.
Right. The universe sings.
I wanted to ask you a question. It just like randomly popped in my mind, and because I wanted to get into it easily, and the one that came up was, what's your relationship to adversity?
Overcoming adversity my whole life, basically, bro. Firstly, I'm black. I'm African Nova Scotian. So just that in itself, being belonging to that minority group, you have to overcome adversity every day
Mm,
in the real world. You know what I mean? Whether that's racism, discrimination, dealing with the setbacks of slavery, all that, right? And then also just regular life stuff that people go through, right? Like friends, bad business, sports. I played a lot of sports when I was younger too, right? In like high school and 1 year college. So a lot of adversity in that winning and stuff. You know what I mean? I was a winner, so I won a
yeah.
lot. Had to play in a lot of games. So tight moments, pressure moments, having to
Mm,
overcome and stay focused and stay composed is super important. And like something a lot of people don't know, I haven't really shared publicly, is like I lost my brother when I was 4 years old. He was 1 years old.
wow.
Uh, so that was super early on in my life. And I had to overcome that, deal with that throughout my life. My mom's a single mom as well. So all types of adversity and hardships I had to overcome throughout life.
How does it feel you now? Because from what I'm seeing, you seem to be at this point where you're thriving or starting to thrive. Like I can see the inflection point in what I see from you, like
Hmm.
some success that people would thrive for. And I know that adversity overcome equals like getting to flow, getting to
Perseverance.
bliss. Yeah. How has it fueled you, and how do you use that daily, and what is your, because you still face adversity, because we all
Of
do. That's just
course.
part of life. But being black in Northern America, and being an artist and being an entrepreneur, well, you're exposing yourself to even more. So how do you deal with that on a daily basis?
Meditation is a must for sure. I'm probably after this gonna go out in the sun and go for a walk and then meditate and just feel the energy of the earth, bro. That helps a lot. That has helped a lot the past like
100%.
5 years since I've adopted that. But yeah, what fuels me, man, is just like what I'm motivated by, and that's my family, my community, and doing right on earth, just like giving back, changing the current system, right? Like I feel like Bitcoin was made for me. I was made for Bitcoin in a sense, with how everything is unfolded and just like the morals, ethics, and ethos that Satoshi laid out. I'm super aligned with it. So like being able to see success through the market and seeing having a vision of where this could go and what I could do to help change the world is kind of what
Yeah,
fuels me now.
that's sick. I'm antsy to get into the Bitcoin and ordinals, but
Hmm.
before that, because again, you're at that inflection point, and you seem to be thriving, and ordinals and BTC was made for you, and I can see that personally because I've looked at what your stuff, looked at your content, and just your overall energy on all of that. What was your journey before that? What was your journey up to that point that made you so, all right, like ready to seize that opportunity when BTC came up?
Oh man, it was a long, long, long journey. 5 plus years in crypto, um, 10 plus years being a creative and art, like taking art seriously as far as a recording artist, a producer.
Mm,
I played around with photography as well, and along that journey with like music, photography, production, it's like I had to wear different hats, right? So
yeah.
in different disciplines, whether that's graphic design, audio engineering, promotion, etc. Right. So those 10 years, like I've been pushing over those 10 years on and off, mostly on, under different brand names, right? Under different pseudonyms, under different artist names that ultimately I didn't feel comfortable with because I've grown out of them. I grew out of them. So like consistently rolling out, okay, that didn't work. Doing it again, that didn't work. Over 10 years, 300 plus songs, probably only like 70 around that released, but a lot taken down. That kind of prepared me as far as content, as far as creativity, as far as, yeah, art goes. Like, you know what I mean? My ear, my taste level. And I'm a student to the game. So like I studied hip hop. I studied the greats, the business moves, the creative moves, what made them great, where they went wrong, etc. I was very obsessive over this for years because I wanted to be great. And aside from that, kind of lost my train of thought, but
yeah, I can see the student in you. I think that's one of the things that is hardest to accept when you're on this journey. And it is that most of the time it's going to be a learning experience. And most of the time it's going to be it's not about where you're going, but it's about where you are right now and the steps that you're taking. And you have to detach yourself from the goal and the outcome and accept that you're going to have to scratch pseudonyms. You're going to have to scratch songs and pieces of pieces of art.
That's huge. That's actually huge, bro, because early on in my artistry and my journey, I was so fixated on how it would happen or how I was going to get there. And like throughout my journey of personal development, I listened to this crazy seminar, bro, this crazy like audiobook seminar by Kevin Trudeau. What's it called? Your Wish is Your Command.
Dude, I went through that as well. 5 years ago, someone gave this to me. It was my first foray into like no, the next crazy. Step.
It's next level. It's next level as far as like what's it called? The law of attraction.
The law of attraction. Yeah.
I won't go super deep. Like it's like manifestation on a high level, right? But
can you remind us? You don't need to go super deep, but I'd love. And I think people listening to it would love also a reminder of like the major concepts because it was so long ago and this has evolved so much that I don't even remember them myself. Like, do you still have them in mind?
Right. So it's like not freshly, but I'll try. So there was like four stages, right, of learning. So it's like, what is it, man? It's basically I'm not quoting it verbatim, but it's basically like there's a point in learning. I'm not even going to do it because I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I understand the concept fully. We'll have to touch back on that for sure. And I'll have to refresh on it because I haven't listened to the audiobook in probably like a year or so. But I there was a period of time where I was just listening to that every single day. And when I first found it,
so powerful.
I was so powerful. I binged it. But there was something in there he said about like manifestation and getting to your end goal, right? And it was about just not being fixated, right? Not thinking about the how and like the exact details of how you're going to get there, but focus on just getting there. Like focus on what it's going to feel like when you're there, what it looks like, why you want to be there, etc. And like let it happen. You know what I mean? Exactly. This is what I took from it. So it's like you can't be fixated on the process of how it's going to happen. You just gotta let it happen and trust that it's going to happen.
Absolutely. It's such a fine balance too, because you have to be fixated, you have to be drawn, you have to look at it, you have to want it, because if you don't have that like North Star in mind, then you're not going anywhere. So to a certain extent, you still have to imagine it, to imagine like what it's going to feel like and to put some emotion and some energy behind it. But also at the same time, if you're just only focused on that and not on the steps that you're taking in order to get there, then you're going to get stuck. And it's the whole, like, that's life for us. It's permanent imbalance. and being okay with it, and doing the back and forth.
For sure, bro. I had to Google this shit real quick,
I did it as well.
and it makes so much sense. It's like the four stages of like learning. So it's like
Mm,
unconscious incompetence,
incompetence.
right? So it's like where you don't
Yeah.
know, you're not aware of what's happening at all. You don't know, you're not aware of it, right? So that's the first stage. And then there's conscious incompetence. So it's like you're aware of it, but you're not sure of how to do it or what's going on, but you know it exists, right? And then there's conscious competence where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm aware of it now, and I've learned a bit, and I can practice it. I'm doing it now, right? But I'm still learning while I'm doing it. I'm still building, mastering my craft, right? And then there's unconscious competence where it's just second nature, first nature, second nature. It's primal at that point where it's like you've done so much work, you've done so much studying that it's just natural, right?
Yeah.
But another key thing to take away is like you never stop learning. So one thing
Never.
I I took away from that, it might have been another book. I might be confusing them, but it's like
Mm.
never say like yeah I finished that, or like yeah I've completed, or I'm done learning, bro, because you're
Yeah.
always learning. Even if you read a book, you read it again, you'll get a new perspective. You learn more again, right? So
100%.
yeah, I'm never at the finish line. I'm always getting better. I'm always improving. I'm always trying to reach and be better than my last.
Yeah. There's so much value in that, and what you were saying. It was me when I was like 15 or 16, and I know I've heard some people say they were the same, where we kind of try to bring that certainty and that security that there is a point that if we reach it, then we'll be good. Then we'll be set, where we're done learning and where we're just like living bliss. And most of the
Hmm.
time, and because it's a big concept that is passed on to us by society, it comes from material stuff. The usual, having a good job, having a wife, and having kids, and having a house,
Retirement, for
retirement,
sure.
or whatever.
That whole concept is, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and
It's
it
funny.
just, you reach those points, and the bliss doesn't come that way.
Right. It's funny you spark like a just a concept of that, or at least like an idea in my mind or something I want to say about it. It's like they've trained us so much to think that like okay, obviously you graduate, you get a job, you work all these years, and then you retire, and then you can just relax, right? But even the
Yeah.
people that do retire, are they always do they feel fulfilled? Are they happy? Sure, some of them, but a lot of the times you see people who retire go back into work because they're
Hmm.
bored, right? Or old people that retire, they start to wither away because they're not doing anything, right?
Yeah, because we become addicted.
Exactly. But when you're doing what you love, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like work, bro. So it's like
Mm,
if you're constantly doing what you love, you're getting more energy from that. You don't need to retire, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You don't need to retire, and it has to, doing it because you love it is an important component. And
It's
another
the
one
most
is,
important.
it is, and the other one that I would add is doing it without what it gets you. Because
Hmm.
even if consciously you're like, yeah, okay, I'm doing it because I love it. And a lot of us do that. Like, we are lucky enough that we found ourselves like doing stuff that we love. But then subconsciously, you still have that ego. You still have your parents' voices, the society's voices that tells you like, this is what this will get you. You're doing that job, okay? You kind of like it, but you're still doing it for the monies. You're still doing it because it gets you that status.
Approval,
And
whatever it
yeah,
is. Yeah.
approval, 100% approval. That's it. That's the box that we try to go into.
And it helps a lot with that sovereignty. I mean, sovereignty, solitude.
Both.
Um, yeah, both. But like solitude, man. Like I'm a homebody myself. I like
Hmm.
this. I like to stick to myself. You know what I mean? I have a lot. I have friends. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a loner like that, but I am a loner. You know what I mean? I like my
Yeah.
own time. I like being in my own head and having my own thoughts before I step out into the world, right? And it's like we're so conditioned to be group herd mentality from the moment we hit our first institution, right? Which is like elementary school. It's all group.
Yeah.
Then you hit teams and sports teams, but then it's all group. Graduate, or you go to the high school group, college group, work group. It's all like, so
Yeah.
you don't really have time to just be on your own and have your own thoughts and think like, what do I like? What do I really want? What do I like? So some people aren't even aware of that, and like, if
I
you
know.
are aware, that solitude, if you are aware, that solitude really helps you just clarity, focus, and helps
For
you love
sure.
yourself. You know what I mean?
And I actually think that's the number one reason people can't meditate. It's not about I have like ADHD or I have this or I have that. It's about you've just never been taught to be alone with your thoughts.
That's crazy. I've never really thought about it like that, but that's interesting, man. Cause like, yeah, maybe the people, like a lot of the people that don't meditate, now that I'm like just analyzing people I know, it's like they're around a lot of people a lot of the time. So how could you possibly sit down and meditate if you're not used to just being with your own thoughts?
Yeah.
Sit down and meditate when you have your own thoughts and everybody else's thoughts running through your mind all day, right? That's interesting.
Absolutely. And the group becomes the norm, and your sense of validation comes from the group as well, like the sense of approval that you were talking about. And we're not I don't know where I got this story from. Not a story, but I think maybe it was Jay Shetty. I don't know, someone going like into a monk school, and the outsider asks one of the teachers, so what's the subject for the first day of class? And the guy says breathing, because breathing is like can be a conscious activity. It doesn't just need to be like the thing you do to stay alive. It is super powerful because it's the link between spirit
Powerful,
and
yo.
body. So powerful, so powerful. And same thing with just sitting with yourself.
Breathing is healing, bro. It's like when you do yoga, if you have the right person teaching you how to do yoga, or if you're learning these practices, like when you're stretching and you're doing yoga and you're focused on your breath, wherever you're stretching, you're supposed to be channeling that breath there and channeling that breath out, right? So the oxygen, the breath, the air is healing your body. It's cleansing your body and cleansing those muscles, cleansing those bones. It's crazy. It's super crazy. So
It is.
I love that you mentioned that, man, because yeah, bro. I love this conversation.
Yeah, me too, man. Always.
Yeah, what I wanted to kind of also touch back on, my memory got jogged. Is you're speaking about like what kind of prepared me for this moment, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to mention like that personal development stuff, of course, like being in tune with that. Kind of where I picked that up from. Like I did mention my mom was single mother, right? I did see my dad through my childhood and stuff like that. And one thing I picked up was like, he would be listening to these, like, it might even have been Kevin Trudeau back then, but he would be listening to like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and like these self-development, audio books in the car and stuff. Right. So back then you know what I mean? I had no idea what it was. I didn't even care. But as I got older and I started diving more into that, I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? So then, yeah, I dove in a lot of that. Also, as like a youngin, like fresh out of high school, early university, this is something like that's really not public either, bro. You keep it in if you want, but bro, I used to I dabbled in the streets a little bit, like sold a little bit, whatever. Met some bad people through that. Eventually, just like left that life behind me. You know what I mean? Like long behind me, right? But what I learned through that experience was a lot of business acumen, right? As far as supply and demand, customer care, I guess you could say,
and risk management as well.
Risk management heavy, bro. So and then through that too, I actually invested into like a retail store, like with a couple partners. So we opened up a retail clothing store, branded, when I was about like 22, right? 31 now. So that was a long time ago. But yeah, we opened up the store. These partners at the time were friends, right? It didn't work out. We all know how that goes. Business with friends,
Yeah.
uh, right? So, like those types of moments, right, kind of prepared me for just moments like these. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's
Yeah, absolutely.
business experiences, art experiences, friends experiences, all that stuff, and dealing with like pressure or just like even the attention. I'm used to it. Like early on in my music career, like locally in Canada, I was making music obviously when I started, but I got a lot of opportunity early on in my city. Like I was opening up for major acts that would come in like within my first year, 2 years of deciding to rap, you know? So like it's opening up for like Tyga, Big Sean, Juicy J, Kid Ink,
Holy
etc.
shit.
Yeah, bro. Like I've performed in front of thousands of people, hundreds of people, multiple times, and then that was crazy, bro. I was like young. I was young though. I was like 19, 20, to like 23. But it was a wild experience, right? And like it's something that most people don't get to go through, right? And most people aren't aware that
Sure.
I have even experienced that. But those moments, like the business, the entertainment aspect, and just like the adversity of just regular life, all that prepared me for this. And me being a student and listening more than I speak, always, I'm observant. I'm really observant. So yeah, when I'm in spaces where I can learn, I'm always just watching, listening more than I speak.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool that you went through all of that. You and learned so much. And thinking, I had this question pop up, like, what would you, if you could go and talk to that 19-year-old Swapski? I don't know if that was the name. No, it wasn't the name that you went by back then. But if you were to go back, and
Hmm.
what would you tell yourself? Like, you going through all of these experiences and now knowing that it would take you like 10 years, about a decade, to reach like that thriving point.
Hmm.
Where, what would you tell that person?
Trust yourself, bro. Just trust your own vision, trust your intuition. Um, just trust yourself. And yeah, bro, like I've always been like this guy, like as far as like giving, wanting to help the broad community, give back, humble. Like obviously I know my value, but I'm not a
Mm,
cocky, braggadocious type of just guy in my natural demeanor, right? I'm super laid back, chill, mellow. And like early on, like that group herd mentality stuff like was infiltrating my spirit, infiltrating my mind. Like people around me like, oh, you need to be more cocky. Oh, you need to be more this. Oh, bro.
yeah.
And then they're acting like that as well. So it's like I would just say, yeah, bro, separate yourself from people that don't give you a good vibe, that aren't for you, because you can
Mm.
feel it. You can always feel it. You just ignore it when you're young because you want to fit in. But yeah, and then trust yourself. That's it.
And
There's
trust your
not
real
really much to
self.
it. Real self.
From what I'm getting, like, not your mind ego self of, oh, I know that by 25 I'm going to be like the biggest rapper on the scene. No, trust like that inner you, trust that you will succeed by being you. And you're actually, if you manage to be you and filter the noise, then you're already succeeding to a certain degree.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's like why I say that too is like just trust yourself, is because like I even listened to the music I was making um back then. Like I was very organized over the years as far as cataloging my music and my even my sessions, right? Like I have sessions from 2010 on a hard drive right in front of me right now. Um so I have songs
Sick.
from 2010 all the way till now, right? But I've categorized them in certain like vibes. Past week I've been listening to um, some tracks that were from early on, and I was like rapping about like real life motivational stuff, man. And that's like who I am at my core, right? So it's funny that like that music is timeless. Like, and my goal was always to make timeless music. So like when I'm listening to this music and my message and like this is the raw Swapski, like in his raw craft, right? What I'm saying still hits me. What I'm saying is still relevant today. Like I was in tears listening to like the 18 tracks that I've categorized for this album type project. I was in tears near like the track 16 listening to it, because it's like my life from the past 10 years of my life experiences, etc., and my pain just all in, and my good times too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But in an audio journal type. So it's crazy.
Do you think they will ever come out?
For sure.
That's awesome.
It's never been released. All this. So which is crazy too, right? So a lot of my music, right? A lot of the music I released, I was releasing while I was influenced by people around me, right? So why I was saying that stuff about like the early raw stuff is and how it's connecting today is because the music I was releasing, I was never feeling good about in the moment of releasing it, and even after, because it was never me, right? It was never me. I was trying to fit in. I was trying to impress. I was trying to be this whatever, right? Everything I said in my songs is real. I never lie in my lyrics, but that's not the type of music I want to make. Yeah, that's not what the type of art. That's not the type of art I want to put out in the world, right? So, yeah, going back and listening to that, it's really just, it was powerful, bro.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it will come out eventually. It just needs to get polished. Needs to make sure it sounds right for the time now. But as far as the content and the beats and stuff, like everything is timeless. I love it, and that's why trusting yourself is so important, is because, especially as an artist, is because you already know what you want to create. You already know what it is you want to say, right? It's just about working every day and saying it and living the experiences to say it, and then trusting yourself, right? So you asked, will it ever come out or come out again?
Yeah.
I've never released I have over 300 songs, and I've only released, like I said, 70. So there's like 200 plus songs that people haven't heard, and a lot of those are the songs that are actually me. You know what I mean? To my core. And then I have a lot of new songs as well. Like 2019, I recorded probably 100 plus songs. It's one of my craziest, most creative years. And I released like 20 over 2019 to 2020. But I've taken all that music off. That music was still fire too, but I've taken that music off, rebranded Swapski, dropped the Ordinal Theory EP, which isn't a gimmick. I'm super passionate about crypto, and if you listen to the music, you can tell it's not like a gimmicky type. It's real music, right? And then after this EP, bro, like I'm not going to be making another like crypto themed project, right? I'll obviously be talking about crypto and have crypto references in my music, because my music is about my life, right? And I'm in crypto,
yeah,
so
crypto is your life.
Yeah, exactly. So there'll be lyrics in there about crypto, but I'll never drop again another like Bitcoin tape or whatever. There might be songs on a tape that has reference to, but there'll never be another Ordinal Theory EP or like Ethereum EP or NFT EP or anything like that. This was just like a homage.
It's not a meta for you. It's your thing,
right? And then like everything after this will be like what I'm truly vibing with, and what I'm my true art. And that is my true art too. Don't get me wrong, but I have so much I want to do as far as art goes. Like just staying crypto, sticking myself in a box, just making crypto music just would be insane. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that absolutely. I actually wanted to ask you about that, because there are market cycles, there are metas, and 100%, like with every new meta, there are some that are going to stay and there are some that are going to go. If someone comes to you and tells you like, all right, Ordinals and all of this BTC stuff is just this meta, it's just a fad, what do you tell them? Are they here to stay? Why? What will they look like in a few years?
It's just a meta. So like in regards to like the crypto market in general,
Yeah, or
like
is it something that people will forget about, and that will just have been this period in 2023 where they were the big thing, or will this still be a thriving ecosystem in like 50 years or 20 or 10?
as far as thriving ecosystem goes, I can't tell you that. Can't tell the
Yeah.
future as far as like the monetary value goes of ordinals. But what I can tell you is that when humans no longer exist, um, every single inscription will still be on the blockchain. So that in itself is very valuable. It's like these are our modern day version hieroglyphs. So when the next generation finds Earth, maybe aliens, maybe it's AI that inhabits the Earth, they're gonna find Bitcoin and they're gonna find all these files inscribed on it. And yeah, that's the law. That's Bitcoin's forever. So the files inscribed on chain are forever as well, right? And in regards to it being like a meta, like a fad, if you think Bitcoin is a fad and won't last, then sure. But if you think Bitcoin will last and Bitcoin will you know what I mean,
Yeah.
continue to grow, then the ecosystem built on top of Bitcoin will continue to grow as well. And that's my take because the past over the past 5 months, the ecosystem has been built out tremendously fast, like
Yeah.
at exponential rates on Bitcoin. And what people don't realize, the people that are calling it a fad, is that none of this was possible on the biggest blockchain in the world before December, right, of last year. So every other chain, we had to go to every other chain to do what we're doing on Bitcoin now, as far as NFTs, as far as DeFi. So like, if you look at
Yeah.
every other chain in comparison to Bitcoin, right? What would you rather have? A knockoff chain? No, not knockoff, but
Firing
everything
shots.
is every. Yeah, no, I'm not even like it's because
Yeah.
a lot of these chains will survive and be successful too. But the most successful chain will always be Bitcoin because everything is modeled after Bitcoin. Even if you're modeled after Ethereum, Ethereum was modeled after Bitcoin probably. Vitalik was working on Bitcoin before Ethereum. Wanted to bring these similar types of concepts to Bitcoin, but the community back then said nah. So he went and built Ethereum. Is the gist I get, the narrative I get. I can't verify that, but like that's
Yeah.
what I hear. You know what I mean? So just that, like the liquidity from all these other chains that might have no product yet or just have low liquidity, have you know what I mean? Just a terrible infrastructure. They're gonna come over to Bitcoin. Like the liquidity will come over to Bitcoin, and it's like people don't know about the Lightning Network either yet. Like people that are on these other chains, they just know Ethereum, NFTs, maybe Solana. But the Lightning Network is powerful, 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 powerful. This is instant Bitcoin payments. Bitcoin for payments is not slow, right? Like Bitcoin has the potential to be very fast, right? And with continued scaling and continued innovation, it's like the next 4 years, like the halvings next year, right?
Yep.
By the next halving, this entire market will look completely different. Will look completely different. We won't be having the same conversations about NFTs, crypto, DeFi. The top 100 will be completely different. Like there'll be maybe 5 to 10 coins in the top 100 that are the same, and maybe the OG ones, the OG ones, they'll be floating around too. But as far as like the coins and the like the cryptocurrencies that we're
Yeah.
used to talking about, they will all be different over the next 4 years.
Do you have a prediction, or do you have like a gut feeling or of where it's going to go, and what it might look like, what might be different about it?
Well, seeing as how all this is being built on Bitcoin, right? It's
Yeah.
going to be similar. Like if you were around for 2017, you know that Bitcoin's dominance was a major thing for that bull
Yeah.
market, right? And for that, just that cycle, right? And that's going to be another trend this cycle, right? This bull run. Bitcoin is going to dominate majorly in my mind. That's my prediction. And that's because of ordinals. That's because of SAT names. That's because of BRC20s. And that's because of now a new innovation, Bitmap, that could turn out to be one of the most innovative innovations on Bitcoin to date, which is the potential metaverse being built out in integration in parallel with Bitcoin and potentially on top of Bitcoin on chain. So like that concept, if you guys look into it, if you already know about it, is so fascinating to me. So with all that's going on, what was the question? My prediction? I think it's going to suck. I think it's going to suck a lot of liquidity. It's going to be Bitcoin's going to dominate. And like what people are used to happening as far as like where the liquidity flows into after Bitcoin pumps and like starts to consolidate isn't good. It's going to stay. All the liquidity is going to stay on Bitcoin because it doesn't need to leave to make more Bitcoin now, right? That's what people don't understand. For the first time in history, we don't have to leave the Bitcoin blockchain to make more sats, to make more Bitcoin. So why would I come off Bitcoin to trade Ethereum, to trade on Solana, to trade on AVAX, to trade on any of these other chains? When the name of the game for anybody who, when they first found Bitcoin, first found crypto, was to buy Bitcoin and stack Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The reason why we got away from that is because there was no innovation. It was boring. Ethereum had all the innovation, right? This past 5 months has been all innovation for Bitcoin, right? So that's what's going to happen in my mind.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't know about Bitmap yet, and I saw it on your Twitter, and I haven't dove in yet. What is that?
A lot of controversy, man. Bitmap, it's basically like, obviously, you know the concept metaverse, but the protocol, it's a protocol right now, text files, just like BRC20 started out, just like SatName started out, but there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of adoption. I'm pretty sure it's the quickest growing inscription count in a short period of time, like the biggest, the historic, right? But the concept is like a metaverse, right? But the concept is each block that has confirmed is a plot of land that you can, is a district of land that you can reserve, right? So to reserve a district, you type in whatever the block number is. If it's block 1, you put 1.bitmap, and then you inscribe that as a text. There's been innovations now past few days where you can actually go on Ordinal's wallet and there's a map and you can select the plot on it like a map. It looks pretty dope. But you would inscribe that text file and then that would reserve your block, right?
Okay.
So once you reserve the block, you can look at the block and there's a bunch of different transactions on the block. If you go to the mempool, you can see like the transactions, right? So that plays a part into the bitmap theory, right? So that determines the plots within your district and the density and all that stuff to your land. So the idea in itself was super fascinating to me. And you know what I mean? More land gets created over time. It was a fair launch. It was fair distribution. And it was less than $5 to inscribe one bitmap. If you want one, just to like, I want to see.
Be a part of it.
It might be something. It might be something. It might not. If it does, I have a district. I have a piece of land on there for under $1. Like, and if it doesn't, I lost a Starbucks coffee. Who cares, right? But my view of it, right, is like, if you look at the world, and this is Bitcoin, the biggest blockchain in the world, right? Most decentralized. You look at it as the world, like, and we're trying to create a digital representation or a digital replica of the world that we can all play around in digitally, right? And have all types of different experiences. The Earth has 36 billion acres, right? Of earth, of land. Okay? And the blocks right now, there's only 795,000 above, right? So roughly 10 minutes, every 10 minutes, a block confirms. It's going to take 100 years for 7 million blocks to confirm. 100 years, right? So if you take 36 billion acres, 36 billion, and divide that by 7 million, in 100 years, your one bitmap parallel to Earth will be worth roughly 5,000 acres. So one bitmap is worth 5,000 acres in digital land. To me, that's my perspective. And you can get that for under $5 potentially. And it's like it's not worked out yet. There's a lot of skepticism. Oh, it's not possible. Blah 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 blah. But bro, the idea is insane to me.
It is,
and I like the idea. And for $5, I'm longing it. Like, what are you talking about? If you're even if you're not good at managing risk and you're a degen, this is your dream. Like, what are you talking? I don't get it. Why people are like, anyways, I don't even want to focus on that, but
by the way, this is not financial advice, but yeah, I get it. And it's what's really cool.
Definitely not financial advice.
Beyond the idea, beyond the potential, beyond the, like, is this going to be a thing? Even just as an art and communal experiment, I find this really cool because Bitcoin it's historic at this point. It will be remembered for as long as humans exist, potentially. And
yeah, bro,
to have this narrative kind of flip around of like Bitcoin maxis kind of becoming not the butt of the joke, but it's like, all right, yeah, Bitcoin is really cool. It's a cool store of value. Ideologically, it's awesome. Philosophically, it's awesome, but you can't do anything with it. And so now we're seeing this narrative completely flipped around, and it would be such a mind fuck if the last 7 years of innovations in the blockchain space were to disappear and everything go back to Bitcoin. That would be such a sick timeline.
Makes sense for that to happen because it just makes sense, man. I don't even want to talk bad about any other chain or talk about concepts of money and debt and shit like that, but and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear on here, but yeah,
go ahead.
I don't want to talk about that. But what I was going to say too is that, this is definitely, me talking about Bitmap is not financial advice whatsoever. Whatever I say about things that I like, it's because I like them and I'm interested. I'm never giving people financial advice. I'm just trying to educate you and let you know about, hey, this is something cool that's going on. If you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too, right? But yeah, like I said, buying one bitmap under $5. So it's like, even if I am saying this is financial advice, and this isn't by any means financial advice, bro, we've all spent we've lost $5. We probably lose more than that in the course of the year and change, right? So it's like, this is
buy Bitmap.
Yeah, don't buy Bitmap. Don't buy it. But just broaden your perspective on things sometimes.
What would you recommend someone just getting into the Ordinal? Is this whole space called Ordinals, or is that just a subcategory?
So it's Ordinal. So Ordinal theory is the It's like Ordinal theory, right? Okay. So Casey developed the protocol under Ordinal theory. So everything that's happening, like BRC20s, are operating within Ordinal theory. Bitmap operating within Ordinal theory. All this art is being inscribed on Bitcoin through the Ordinal theory protocol, right? So yeah, that's what it is, right? But they're not over time. We'll just be calling it art. Here, listen to my music. You get my music. You won't be saying, "Yo, do you get my Ordinal NFT music song?" Yeah. No, you'll just be saying, "Yo, do you get my EP? Go get my EP. You get you know what I mean? Did you get Swapski's new art piece?" It's not going to be like, "Oh, did you get the Ordinal inscription?" You know what I mean?
It's not. Did you get the MP3 or did you get the JPEG or
Exactly, but that's going to take time. It's going to be, did you get the Ordinal inscription for years to come? But 10 years, we're going to be just calling it what it is.
What would you recommend someone just getting into that space? to check out first, to kind of improve their success, and not even necessarily benefiting financially, even though that's a component, but just like having fun with it, understanding it, and maybe finding where they belong within it.
Do your research for sure. Read the Ordinal Theory Handbook. And if you want to dive into BRC20s, read the BRC20 docs. Read the SAT names docs. Read the bitmap theory docs. That's where you need to start before you invest or want to learn more about any of this. Read the Bitcoin white paper as well. That's will be great starts conceptually and just like educationally, knowledge wise. And then from there, find the right sources of information, right? Sources of information for me have been like Pa's Not Gonna Make It, his YouTube channel. He does lots of tutorials and like good information. He's not shilling anything like that. CB Spears as well, Charlie Spears. He's another source of information that I've liked. I'm biased on his YouTube channel, right? And he goes over technical stuff, how to's, etc.
Awesome.
Those two help me learn how to get into ordinals basically via their YouTube channels. And then from there, it's just if you want to collect art, realize like if you're getting in for the art, collect art that you like. That's what you're doing, right? And if it makes money, cool. If it doesn't, you know what I mean? But if you're not if you don't like to collect art, then don't get into ordinals, right? If you want to get, like NFTs, if you want to make money, like it's weird, right? Because like you can make money flipping ordinals and NFTs, but I like to do it because I like art and I like supporting artists, right? So like I'm having fun and I'm enjoying the things I'm putting in my long-term wallet because I love it, right? So I make money off as a byproduct, right? But what I really where my bread and butter is trading the altcoins in the market. Like so like that's where I would, if you want to make money, that's where I would do research. Like if that's your only intention is to make money, that's where I would focus on, is just learning how to trade Bitcoin and learning how to trade maybe this new BRC20s. It's also not financial advice. And then for ordinals, yeah, bro, same thing. You can do the same thing. You can flip them and stuff like that. But you got to find the right source of information. Also, to be good at flipping, you have to have an eye for art, low key, or just knowledge of markets and trading. You can learn that over time, but again, I don't suggest you trying to make money off of trading NFTs unless you're experienced. What I suggest you doing with NFTs, ordinals, art, is collect what you love. And if you collect something that you love and it pops off, it's a win-win, you know?
Absolutely.
That's what happened. That's what happened with me on ETH. I wasn't collecting because I thought it was going to be the next CryptoPunk, or I thought it was going to be the next $100,000 investment. I was collecting because, these are dope. Obviously, I was speculating a little bit, but for the most part, I was like, I like this art. Who's the artist? I like that story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost brought my water bottle. So
got you excited for a second.
Yeah. So that would be my advice for people just getting in. It's like, make sure you find a good source of information.
That's a very good piece of advice. I think there's this thing of, because the money making part is such a big component of the narrative, and especially right now, like the gap is really wide. You have the diehards on one end, and you have the people who are strictly here for the money and who are digging to like for breadcrumbs at this point. But yeah, it's a very good and timeless piece of advice, because making money, whatever the market, is always going to be a skill that you need to hone. There are very, very, very few people who will just naturally get into a market and make a lot of money. You're going to make mistakes. You need to have like bankroll management, foundations of knowledge, and you need to understand like how attention flows and everything. Like I've been trading for I bought my first stock was Sony in 2011 or 2012, I think. And since then,
Yeah, crazy.
I've done Forex and online poker and then crypto for the past 6 years.
I was a big poker head, bro.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it helps. It helps. It helps a lot. But all of that to
And I'm
say,
a
I
big
still don't make money. It's still
trading.
not my thing. Yeah, it's not my thing because I try
How?
to
But
use
how?
it to make because I'm
Like
not.
day,
I don't like
like day trading. You mean
trading or like trading on the four
you've
hour to
never
one
made?
day chart. No, I have. I
Yeah,
have.
but
I've made some great
of course,
trades.
when I say trading and making money, right? I mean, like I buy something
Yeah.
today and like I'll sell it in 3 months, and if it goes crazy between then, I'll obviously take profit. But I'll sell it in 3 months to 6 months to a year to two
Mm,
years, right? Like that's trading.
yeah. I don't know where the cutoff line is.
Like time wise,
Yeah, like when is it trading? When is it investing? Because obviously there are some biases. Because yeah, for me, trading is like daily or weekly or
we'll see if there's different like terminology, right? Like there's day
yeah, for
trading,
sure.
there's swing trading is what I do,
Yeah.
right? So I'm trading the swing, the trend, you know. So
Mm,
I'm buying it during the bear market, and I'm going to sell it during the bull market at a point where I'm satisfied, or I'm going to buy it at a low swing and sell it at the swing high. You know what I
okay, there
mean?
we
Buy it
go.
at the swing
Yeah.
low, sell it at the swing high. So uh, day trading, I've obviously seen some success here and there, but swing trading
Mm,
is the bread and butter in crypto, bro, because you never know how much a coin's going to go off, right? So what you want to do is find your what you're going to invest in swing trade, invest in them. Once it goes off, take some initial out, take some profit out, let
yeah.
it sit, bro, because if you're actively trading, you're taking losses, right? But in crypto, if you just patient, it'll always win, right? So if you just wait, take some profit out, take your initial out, you never that might go 1,000, 10,000x, right?
Mm,
So those trades like that, something that goes 20x on like 1,000, $10,000 is something that can sustain you for years, bro. And you can just keep repeating that process every cycle. But it's about
yeah.
learning that patience and learning what's
Discipline.
good to invest in, discipline, and
Yeah.
what's gonna having the conviction and the confidence that yes, this is gonna work out, this is gonna do well because the business is a great model, they make money, and the partners and advisors are great, right? But like I've mastered honing in on that the past 5 years.
Good for you, man. It's a good skill. It's a good skill to have in the bag. And I'll just cap this off with saying that I've realized I don't like investing and I don't like trading, whether it is day
Mm.
trading or swing trading. Sometimes I'll see a trade, like I'll feel it in my gut. I look at the chart. I usually only trade ETH. I look at the chart and I see that it's going to do like a move up or a move down, and I win that trade. And then usually after that, I think I've got it this time, and so I keep doing it. And now I've accepted I'm a builder. I'm here to like build businesses and to do this podcast and to do other things. And I'll leave trading out for other people.
Do you save? You obviously save money.
That is something that I've had to
You have a
learn
sa-
the hard
you
way
have a savings you have a savings account. You're not on zero
in
all the
crypto.
time, right?
No,
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 I
I
mean
most
in real life.
no, no, no. All of my like liquidity net worth is in crypto. Most of it.
Oh, sick. Fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Never mind then. Oh yeah, never mind then. I was gonna say, bro, if you invest like if you have a savings account, you're investing in the US
Yeah,
dollar every day every day,
yeah, yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I
of
mean? So it's
course.
like
Look, seen like that.
you might as well invest in like a coin that's like obviously has high liquidity, whatever, even if it's
Yeah, for
just
sure.
Bitcoin, even if it's just Ethereum, and then just trade out of that as it profits instead of having but you're already bankless, so you're blessed.
Getting there somehow. And before we close this off, because it's already been like an amazing conversation. What are the next steps for you? Are you riding that wave right now? Are you do you have plans on a longer time frame for the next like 6 months or a year? How do you see those next little while playing out?
Yeah, my next year is basically planned out. Consistently plotting, scheming, networking, reaching out to artists, figuring out new ways to create and bring value to the space. So yeah, man, I have a lot going on, and with the more innovation that comes out, the more it makes possible, right? But right now, what's lined up and what's public, um, after Chapter 3, Ordinal Pixels is complete, and the public sale is over. I will be inscribing the Ordinal Theory EP, right? Each track, and then I'll be doing something cool and innovative to
That's
distribute
awesome.
the EP to multiple people, a limited supply, but you'll be able to buy the EP as an ordinal and listen to the EP from the content link um, in your wallet, right?
That's
So that's the next kind of official release I'm doing. And within that release, right, you'll be able to buy with BTC. If you're aware, I don't know if you're aware, but I have my own BRC20 token swap. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
it minted out last week, right? But I'll tell you the whole premise of that too. So basically,
Please.
I'm going to be accepting swap for my music and my one of ones. Ordinal Pixels is my first and my last generative art collection, right? I won't have another generative art collection on any chain. So it'll just be one of ones in music from there. And I'll be accepting swap token or BTC for my music and my future art, right? All swap spent on mints gets burnt. All swap spent like on my mints officially held by me gets burnt. I'll also be onboarding and curating artists through Swap that will be accepting BTC or Swap. I'll also be um,
Oh,
doing it doing exclusive Swap mints, right? So where you can only mint with Swap. Um, Very thoughtful, curated artists and collections from all different disciplines of artists, whether that be music, photography, digital art, physical art, etc. Um, that is
that's
kind of
so
like the premise of the BRC20 token is like the art. I want to make it the art token on Bitcoin, right? So you can use Swap to buy dope art consistently throughout the year, right? So I have at least 6 artists on the go right now. Some have collections complete and just waiting for their time, and some are working on their collections as we speak. Um, as things roll out, I do the first swap mint with my Ordinal Theory EP. I'll be releasing a form for artists to submit, and if they pass the curation phase, then they can be onboarded through my system, through my network. I already have a partner to facilitate uh, accepting swap as well. That will be rolling out later on. I can't make any really announcements or touch on that any further. But yeah, like that's what I have planned out for my art. That's what I have planned out for Swap or No Pixels art collection, no roadmap, no utility, just art. When that's finished, that's finished. Then it's music, one of ones. I'll always provide value to my community though, like I have been,
mm,
whether that's through education, content, art. Um, what's coming next to um, basically since I'm building this like empire, so to
yeah.
say, is Sovereign Trail, right? So that's my corporation registered federally. Sovereign Trail is basically the business, my business, my company, my brand, which stands for equal freedom of expression, equal freedom of speech, and equal freedom on earth, right? And our whole goal is to create sovereign individuals on chain, right? So we're going to be working with artists through Swap, right? Swapski and Sovereign Trail takes 0%, right? Our whole goal is to create sovereign individuals and make sure that you're self sufficient on the Bitcoin network as an artist. And all we ask for is collaboration and for you to accept the swap token.
I love this.
Yeah, man. And then underneath Sovereign Trail, right? There's there's education, there's art, there's capital, and there's philanthropy, right? So the education piece, I have a partner I'm working on a course with. It's about 80% done right now. That will be releasing over the summer as well, covering blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, DeFi, Ordinals, BRC20s, metaverse, right? And just giving people an intro. It's going to be a free course as well, just giving people an intro to the information in a digestible, distilled way, but a comprehensive way as well. There'll be a downloadable course for that, as well as like a one-page kind of like PDF that you can kind of try to cram all that information in and digest it as well. And then from there, like that's the Sovereign Trail University, right? So Sovereign Trail University is also going to run a newsletter, weekly and monthly newsletter, a free and paid monthly newsletter. So there'll be a free monthly newsletter and a free weekly newsletter, and there'll be a paid, more guided newsletters as well, weekly and monthly. Super affordable, nothing crazy, nothing like, they're super affordable. Just trying to, you know what I mean, keep the lights on type thing, and get paid for our value. And then from there we get Sovereign Trail Studios, which is art, which is, you got Swapski, you got Ordinal Pixels, you got my music, you got the 101s, you got other artists that we collaborate with, and then we got Ocean Playground, which is, the concept is where I was born, Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's Canada's Ocean Playground. It's on our license plates, right? And basically that's going to be the media hub of everything. So we're going to be covering, it's going to have OP radio, OP media, OP blog, going to be covering art and music, basically innovative and contemporary art in the space, NFTs, ordinals, photography, digital art, physical art, music, etc., poetry, all that. Going to have a blog where you can scroll, see music, see new art, gonna have playlists, you know what I mean? They're going to be like 8 playlists, different genres, piano, house, soul, etc. Have a separate, like all this stuff I'm talking about has, like it's in motion right now, and there's separate parts. There's people in place working on each one, right? With me. So every day I'm talking and I'm building a team, right? So every day I'm building, communicating, setting shit up, branding, like managing this, right? While I'm doing my art, while I'm doing all my graphic design, all my video work, all my promotion, everything.
Damn, I wanted the next 6 months and you gave me the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on, as far as like Sovereign Trail. So you'll have that. So Ocean Playground will have the playlists. We'll also have, I won't even go into deep, because like honestly, bro, I'm giving people the whole business model at this point.
Yeah, but you're the one to do it. You're the perfect person to do it, and anyone taking this would not even know where to start, wouldn't have the right connection, wouldn't have the right skill or life knowledge that you do and that you've built over the past 10 years. So they can take it and they can do a pitch deck, but there's not much more that they can do. They might as well reach out to you and figure out how to help you do that, and probably have a good spot. That's one of my big things of this ecosystem that I've told you about that we're building. One of the things that I really want to pass on to people is it's oftentimes a lot better to contribute to someone else's idea when they feel very strongly about it, when they have a clear vision about it, when they have the right skills to carry it, than to try to do it yourself. Because like 99% of the time you're setting yourself up for failure. For
sure. And like two things come across my mind when you say that, is like, obviously 99% of businesses fail. And this is not me just pumping myself up or anything, because I failed a lot in business, right? But 99% of businesses fail. And like, I would rather own a small percentage of something than a large percentage of nothing, or all the 100%. Percentage of nothing. You know, so
me too. That's why we chose decentralization. That's why we're here, because we'd rather be part of a bigger network that's anti-fragile than having a like much bigger part of something that's smaller but also a lot more fragile.
Also, too, like touching on what you said before, like, bro, I have the total belief that what's meant for me, what's meant for you, what's meant for everybody is meant for them, right? You just have to step into it, right? So in no way am I scared of missing my opportunity or somebody stealing my opportunity. But I just don't want to say too much too soon, and then I also don't want like some ideas I do have will change the industry, right? And I have full belief in this. Will change the entertainment industry, and why I don't want to leak the alpha is because they could easily just, if I hear my idea, they could easily talk to somebody that that can help them do this first, or not even about do it first, but like, because I'm not worried about who does it first, but I'm worried about who does it with love, care, and intention, because it's super easy to take like ideas and corrupt them, right? But I don't want to even get deep, man.
That's deep enough. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
right.
Who should reach out to you right now? Who do you want to connect with? Who should connect with you?
T Grizzly.
Okay. Okay.
That's the only person I want to speak to is T
All right.
Grizzly.
Well, we
Do you know
will
who that is?
share.
Do you know who that is?
No, no, not at all.
He's a Detroit rapper. He plays GTA online, streams it, super popular. But yeah, that's who I want to connect with. I just have a lot of ideas and on how we could get into NFTs, this digital world, and really change the game. And he's young.
Okay.
He's young too, right? Has a smart mind. Streams. I love his music too. But yeah,
Well,
that's the only person I feel
let's hope
that's on my
let's
mind
hope he
right now.
hears it.
That's all.
And man, where should people find you, follow you, reach out to you?
Yeah, you can get me on Twitter at Swapski, on OpenSea, on Magic Eden, Ordinal Pixels. I'm also on Instagram at Swapski _.
Cool.
That's TikTok.
We'll link
YouTube,
all of this anyway.
YouTube Swapski, TikTok Swapski. I'm all around.
And it's all in the link tree.
Main place you want to go is my Twitter. That's where I'm active every day the most.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Swapski, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for you.
That was awesome.
Thanks for having me, bro. This was one of the best like conversations I've had in a while, man. And definitely one of the best like interviews / podcasts I've been on, as far as like the conversation, the thought, and yeah, I just really enjoyed myself.
I really appreciate that.
Your company, man. I look forward to
me too, man.
To continuing to stay in contact, brother.
Yeah, that means a lot. Right back at you.
The universe sings.